Good night, good night. I'm reading through the comments. I only got 2 right now on that Soft Mail Life video, the latest video, me showing the car and everything like that, and just talking about the situation. One thing I did not talk about, and probably, I'm not going to change the title, but something that, I forgot who I was talking to about it. With the whole Soft Mail Life thing, what I do is not, it was in the community tab. What I do is like my version of Soft Mail Life. Line of MGTOW mentioned even in that under the community tab where I had pictures of the car and everything. This is my vision for Soft Mail Life. This is not something that everybody should follow. Maybe you should be inspired by to where you have proper cushion, whatever you think your Soft Mail Life is, having adequate cushion for anything that comes up, because I did have adequate cushion, thankfully. Even with everything that was going on, like I was supposed to make a $3,000 payment to the building that that I put up a while ago, the pond room, and I didn't like, I was like, yo, I was like telling myself, I was like, hey, something may happen, check it out, just wait for a second. And I did that. Also, I was able to maintain some of my assets and not have to sell them or anything like that. Now, again, you pay for that in the long run with interest rates, but I'm trying to mitigate that and just come up with a plan. So I'll be working on that in my spreadsheet to like come up with a plan to mitigate all the costs or the amount. One of the brothers on the latest video, he was like, yeah, Abyssal Horror is a proper name because of, the price point for the car. And yeah, it's up there. It's up there. I'm not even going to joke about that. In terms of it being a financial decision that could be detrimental, that could be is very expensive, so on and so forth, and cost you a lot over time. It definitely is that. In terms of like, my tolerance with it and everything like that, that's kind of like when you even look at, and I'm not saying to really defend my point, but it's really a thought process in terms of how you look at things. Because if you look at a house, you may not think that, but for a car, it's just like, yeah, that's like a moving liability, and like you're paying that much for it, and it's true. So everybody has their different level of tolerance with that type of stuff, and that's why I want to say, like, what I'm saying is not right by any means. It's my vision. It's what I like, what I want to do, and I'm willing to sacrifice my time and everything to work towards that or work for that. Because it does take a substantial amount of time to actually do what I do, and to be able to even afford all this stuff. Like there's a lot of sacrifices I have to make this happen. So one thing Line of MGTOW said, he understands, like he's like, in terms of, he understood in terms of like being able to deal with a sudden issue like this. I dealt with it in the way that I felt was quote unquote right, but he mentioned in his comment, like, having a Camry and like having, he can deal with this and recover from it fairly quickly as well. And that's the whole thing about even, or that's probably the more important thing about this video, is your version of Soft Mail Life. I think when I think about Soft Mail Life, I think about if a bump happens, like you're not, it's just like, you have things to absorb that shock. Like I had that $3,000. Now I'm still on pace to actually pay that $3,000 to the building. So I'll go ahead and set that payment up pretty soon here, or this week. I think, well, actually what I think I'll do is wait until next week. And then because I'm supposed to have another $3,000 payment to the building, so I'll just do like a $6,000 payment, so then I can have that money, have that cushion on hand if anything else happens, especially like costs for, towing and all this other stuff, and all the things that I had to deal with the truck. I'll see also, I have to do some research tomorrow and call the dealer and see what is covered under warranty. I found the warranty paperwork because I pulled all this stuff out of my truck yesterday. It's at the local dealer, and the dealer is like 45 minutes in another town. But it's at the local dealer now, and I'm just going to see what the warranty has to cover this type of stuff. How much is this going to cost me? I'm going to have to save up for that and everything else. It's a bummer to deal with that, because that truck is like a really good truck. And I'm like contemplating like, yo, okay, if I put money into this truck, keeping it instead of like trying to go buy another one, or even buying like a beater or something like that, because I got to transport the dogs around. I'm not trying to do that in the Mercedes, because the value going down. You can buy, like, what's it called? They call them canopies, or not canopies. I think they call them canopies. But I have one in the back of my truck, or had one in the back of my truck, that I put around it so that the dogs can go in, and if they make any messes, and you could buy it for a car too, so they won't scratch up anything, but they're dogs. Like, they'll jump on the seat, scratch the back screen just because they don't know what the hell it is. So there's stuff like that I have to worry about, and have to worry about transporting them as well for any vet appointments. Don't have any. All the other stuff most of the stuff is out of the way. But it's like dealing with that, and also having a truck so that I can actually transport material and all this other stuff too. So I'm thinking about what I'm going to do to actually get another truck. I definitely want another truck, but now I'm like, okay, do I need, I definitely don't need a 3500, that's for sure. But that was really just because I wanted a nicer truck. And I just like it, but do I need that? Do I need current year and all this other stuff? Maybe I can actually get something, an older model or something like that, and only use it for, what's it called? When I got to transport stuff, and I can beat that sucker up. Still can get a 3500 even, just for like towing capacity for some of the future stuff that I want to do. So I'm considering all these things, but this is like how I look at Soft Male Life in terms of what I want to do and what I expect, what I expect in terms of considerations or anything else, or considerations that I have to make. So I implore you all to like look at, okay, what do you think? I mean, if you're on board with the Soft Male Life, if you want to call it that, but being happy, content, stable, reliable, I like to call, like the new term now that's being passed around is lame bucks, so I like my bucks lame green. Like, it spends better, it looks better, it spends longer, so on and so forth. So whatever you think that is, I call it Soft Male Life. And I'm just making fun of, soft girl era. But whatever you think that is, you do that, right? And then do it within your risk tolerance level. Definitely don't chase other people or anything else like that. I've always, like, if you look at the community tab, I've always liked the big body foreign cars. Like, I had a 740 Li. If you look at the pictures, I had like the same pose, and I wasn't even thinking about the clothes that I was wearing and shit. I just always wear like black like that now, and I've done it for a couple years now. That picture from fucking 2015, and I'm still doing the same shit. So that was pretty fucking funny. And I was just like, I took the picture on purpose, the same pose. I just didn't think, like, the clothes, I was not thinking about that shit at all. I always try to dress simpler nowadays. I gotta wash these dogs, they stink as fuck. I dress simpler nowadays and everything else like that. But yeah, that was just funny. But I've always been into this. This is what I always imagined in terms of my life and what I want and everything else like that. It may not be what you want, and that's the point. Is like, okay, this is how I'm doing it, and it's not a guide. It's not a skeleton, a blueprint by any means. It's really like, this is possible. I've talked about in the space that we reclaimed choice years ago. That was the whole MGTOW movement. We were reclaiming choice, not the program choices that we are made to believe are our choices, but reclaiming, like, yo, I don't have to participate in this modern dating, modern relationship type system, feudal lord system, or if you will, where I have to, be chivalrous and give up so much and it be female centric in terms of my masculinity. I can do my own thing. I can do my own thing my own way, and I can get what I want. And that's kind of the whole Soft Male Life thing to another extent, where it's just like, I can actually do something, or I can do things, what's it called? I'm making this up as I go along, but I can have my life, or the vision of my life, and I can achieve that, within my means. And even if it's not within my means now, I can work towards getting it to that point. Attaining the skills, or attaining the body, or attaining, the intellectual prowess, to where it's like, hey, listen, I may not have a lot of money, but I have, good health. I may not have good health, I mean, you should strive for that, and that's what I'm trying to work on too. Fucking intermittent fasting is a bitch, but it's working. It's working. I actually broke into the 320s, so that's really nice. At the height a couple weeks ago or a month or so ago, I was 351 pounds, and that was like, that's been like my max forever. Hey, stop it. That's probably the most I've ever weighed. So now I'm into the 320s and eating cleaner and stuff like that. But say, okay, hey, listen, I may not have the health for one reason or another. Maybe I just don't want to have a ripped, body or what have you. Or I don't care about it as much or something like that. Maybe you're already small and you don't need to lose weight. But then I have the intellectual prowess to where I can actually talk amongst my peers and debate people at coffee shops or something like that, or play chess or something like that and gain that knowledge. And that's kind of like the whole thing. I think we should be working towards in Soft Male Life. You could even say, you could relabel it and, and not make it a joke or a parody and say, hey, listen, this is me being a Renaissance man of sorts, right? I've been called that before. Like, hey, listen, man, you're a bit of a Renaissance man. I never thought about it like that. I build things, I deal with finances and stuff like that. I won't say my finances are the best in terms of like paying this and paying that. I will say that I am very impatient, and I want to put that out there in terms of what I even just did this past weekend. I did not have to do that. I did not have to do that car. I did not have to do that much. I did not have to pay that much in monthly, what's it called, a monthly car note and stuff like that. And you don't have to, and you shouldn't have to, and I don't think I'm pressuring anybody by any means, but you know what I'm saying, like, that is not financially prudent by some other people's means, like Dave Ramsey or any other financial advisor. But at the end of the day, is that what you want? So, but within reason, like within reason. Be careful with that type of stuff. And I'm also being careful in terms of my spreadsheet. Even if any income gets cut in any shape, form, or fashion, I have things in place to where I can liquidate assets and then be good until I find another job. Even right now, for at least another, let's see, I can be good for, I could be good for another 2 to 3 months right now. So I can liquidate all my assets and still be good for another 2 to 3 months. And that's with the, the new car payment and everything. So, and then also the old truck payment now too, because that's still there. Fuck. And actually, that's also with a life insurance policy in there too. I forgot I had that number in there. Damn. Okay, it's good. I had it in there. And that's like $1,000 for like an index universal life policy. I'm working with Alonzo, the All-Star advisor, with that. And we'll be talking more into the future about me putting together a retirement portfolio. And maybe I can do a stream with him too to impart that knowledge to you guys. So even with me making this decision, which is a big ticket item over a short period of time, it's not a house, but it's the same price as a house. And my aversion to real estate and other things, but me wanting to do this, you can look at it, but then I still can say, hey, listen, I have X amount of dollars available to me that I can actually make other moves and everything else. And that's how you should really look at it. You should budget it. You should look at it and say, hey, listen, I want to go ahead and buy another house, rent it out, and do all types of other stuff with it. Does that fit in your budget? Is that your vision of a soft male life, or a Renaissance man life, or an educated lame life, or a lame buck's life, whatever? I really want y'all to think about that and go forward with it. My biggest thing for me is I'd like to have nice vehicles with the technology and everything. That's like a big thing for me. Also, a nice surplus, paying my dad's mortgage, giving my mom an allowance every month. And then being able, if anything pops up, I got to buy dog food and spend $400. I've spent so much money in the damn pet sense that I am like a gold member or a platinum member or something. I'm like the highest member in that shit because I've paid so much in terms of different services. And I'm able to do that and pay off the credit cards like every month, along with other stuff. And like, I've sacrificed a lot for that. Right now, I'm actually writing a document for work tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up early tomorrow morning to start my day and then catch up on other things and other tickets and stuff like that. And it's just like, that's what I choose to do. And that's what I choose to do, and that's the sacrifice I'm making for my version of the soft male life. There is no right or wrong. There's also there are ways that you can totally fuck up though. So I guess there is right. There is a right and wrong. There you go, to correct that. So I want that to be known and understood with the whole soft male life thing. You know, look at what I'm doing. Don't do it. Do it. Do it your own way. It's the most important thing. And I really want men to understand that we have choices. We are human beings. We want what we want, and we should get what we want. I was talking to a brother in the space, and I think about even like my own family, or people in my family, people that may pass, and I think, like, did they get everything that they want out of life? Did they get everything they wanted? You know, I think about my own mother, like, if she was to pass, like, God forbid, you know, like soon or whatever, knock on wood, did she get everything she wanted out of life? One of the things she always wanted was a Mercedes, and she got it, you know. Did my dad get everything he wanted out of life? Maybe not, because he got divorced, you know. I don't think that's what he wanted. But did he do everything to make sure that he was able to get what he wanted? Did he make the sacrifices? I know he made a lot of sacrifices. I'm just saying in general. And I think about that, you know. That weighs heavily on me, and does in some cases my my decisions. Not so much with this car. I always wanted this car, but at the same time, you know, within reason. So, anyways, maybe a part of soft male life is, if you die today, did you get everything you wanted out of life? You know, up until that point. Maybe one of the things is to live a longer life. And yeah, maybe you didn't get it, but you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Within reason. In terms of what you can control and what's available to you and things like that. Anyways, that got kind of morbid at the end. But yeah, I did want to clarify and talk about that with soft male life and everything else like that, man. And some of the things that I've talked about in the past. You know, I can still make large payments to my mortgage and pay it off in a couple of years. Do I want to do that? Do I want to do the investments and so on and so forth? Or do I want to do investments instead? So I'm still working that out. And now with this new event, now I'm changing up the formula. I'm changing up the equation a little bit to account for all of this. Like I said, I wasn't lying just because it's like, hey, I got a nice car. It's like, I was just talking to my neighbor, and she's not feeling too well. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she's like, she has pneumonia right now, and she's kind of getting over it. But I was talking with her. I said, ma'am, if I was to complain, God would strike me down right now, because the way I handled it and what I was able to do, listen, motherfuckers ain't really able to do that right now, and it's getting worse. And I may be in the same position, but I'm trying to account for it. So, yeah. But yeah, I did want to talk about that, you know, and I'm extremely blessed, and I really do mean that. And I don't look at this as like a big floss of some sort, you know. I'm very proud of it, and I do want to show it off. I have done that. But at the same time, like, there's something things can go wrong at any point in time, and our job as soft male life men is to make sure that we have things in place to deal with that, you know. Anyways, that being said, hey, love you all, wish you all the best, and you know, bring your vision of a soft male, Renaissance man, lame bucks life to fruition, to reality. Peace.